Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 59 of Shattered Image, and this one is titled A Serious Consideration. You turned to head out into the hall, and your mum tailed you closely, which you thought was suspicious, and you kept looking over your shoulder as you walked to the front door. "Do you need me to help put your bag on your back?" she asked you, as you bent awkwardly to put the closed coffee cup down and get your shoes on. "No, I'm fine, Mum," you said idly, as you put your shoes on and then picked up your bag and then slung it over one shoulder and then bent to get the coffee cup. "Oh, I'll get the door," she said brightly, as she stepped past you to grab it, and you suddenly remembered that Sero might be out there waiting for you already, and you panicked. "Oh, no, Mum, it's okay, no," you said, trying to grab for her arm to stop her, but she was too quick and had opened the door and stuck her head out to look around. "Sero," she sung sweetly as soon as she saw him at the gate. "No, Mum, stop," you hissed as you tried to squeeze past her and get out and block her. "Oh, hi, Mrs. Lynn," Sero called brightly with a wave of his hand. "No, stop," you hissed at your mum, trying to push her back and close her inside the house once you had squeezed past her. "Do come over for dinner one night," your mum called invitingly to him. "No, Mum, shh, don't say anything," you hissed, still trying to close the door on her, her foot getting in the way, so you pushed the toe of your shoe against hers to get her foot to slide back so the door would close properly. "Oh, thank you, I will," he called back, and you spun your head over your shoulder to yell at him. No, you didn't hear that," you called with a giant grin on your face as you looked back to your mum and finally got the door closed, amid her mild protests, and then you shouted a goodbye to her through the closed door and spun to run to Sarah at the gate. "I got an invite for dinner," he said brightly. "No, you didn't, you heard wrong," you joked. "Oh, you don't want me to come to dinner?" he asked with playful sadness. "It's not that I don't want you to come, it's just Mum is going to be like, 'When are you and my little yin going to be a couple? Here, Sero, look at all of my baby photos. Do you also want to stay over? Here, have 5 cups of coffee. Now you own our house," you joked to him, and he laughed. "Oh, come on. You know I can handle you, Mum," he said with a grin. "No, I already know what you're going to say. You're going to say, 'Oh, thanks, Mrs. Lynn. Actually, I've already told Yin how much I like her, and we're pretty much dating already, but don't tell her that. Thanks, I'll take all of her baby photos because I'm a stalker, and thank you, I love coffee, but only if it's 5 days old and from the hospital, and did I tell you I've already signed the contract and I own this house? Sweet, cool, yeah," you said, doing an imitation of him. "Oh, I don't even sound like that," he replied with a grin. "Yeah, you do. You sound exactly like that. And you would say all of that too," you joked. "Yeah, definitely. I'd tell her that I've got the hots for you," he said, and you flushed with tingles but poked your tongue out at him. "Stop it, dummy," you snorted. "Anyway, you're going to have to walk yourself home this afternoon because I have training with Aizawa, so time to put your big boy pants on." "Can I watch?" he asked excitedly. "No, of course not," you snorted again. "If I fall on my ass, I don't want you seeing." "I can wipe the dirt off your ass," he offered, and you quickly clutched your backside. "Don't think about my ass," you teased. "No, you go home and I'll tell you about it later." "Okay, but hey, also, I didn't get to tell you about what I read in your Quirk folder yesterday," he said, switching subjects quickly. "You were flirting so much with me yesterday that you distracted me," he teased. Excuse me, you were the one flirting with me, dummy. You just can't keep your hands off me," you teased, and he quickly stepped behind you and wrapped his arms around your middle and lifted you off the ground. "Hey!" you exclaimed with a giggle. "Stop trying to touch me." "Well, if I can't kiss you, then I'll just have to take this," he replied, and you let out a little snort but didn't reply. You knew deep down it was hard for both of you to delay this relationship. "Okay, so tell me, what did you read?" you asked him, as he put you back down and then stepped up beside you and took your hand in his. "Well," he said casually, as you walked side by side, hand in hand, heavily distracted by being so close to one another. I read the thing about your Quirk needing 2 eyes to work. You know, so how the other person has to have 2 working eyes for your Quirk to work on them." "Yeah," you asked, "and?" "Well, I thought maybe we should try it, if I close one eye and you try and quirk me," he said. "No," you said quickly, whipping your head towards him and staring at him. What? What do you mean, no?" he asked with surprise. "No, I'm not doing that," you replied quickly. "But why not?" he asked. "Because I don't, you said, averting your eyes from him. But what if one day something happens and you need to use your quirk, but you're worried about hitting me with it? If we practice it, I can close one eye, and if I'm safe, then at least we know that next time you can do it with confidence, knowing that I won't be affected. He offered. No, you said again sharply, pulling your hand from his and stopping in your tracks, so he stopped too and looked at you. Yin, he started. No, I couldn't. Hunter, if I ever lost you, if it was because of me, you said, looking at him with pain in your eyes. The two of you just stood there, understanding silently what each other was trying to say, but not having the words to be able to say it correctly out loud. Good morning, Yin and Sero, Ida's voice suddenly interjected. Hey, Omi, you suddenly replied. It was almost like a knee-jerk reaction, and Sero snorted. Homie, I am unfamiliar with the term, Ida said as he stopped beside Sero. Bro, you added. I do not believe we are related, Ida commented curiously. Well, what would you like me to call you, Sonic? I mean, he's blue and runs fast, and you're also blue and run fast, you said, gesturing to him, and he looked at Sero for a translation, but Sero was already laughing by then and couldn't reply. Okay, good way to break the tension, Ida. Good morning to you too. Let's go to school, he said, and you all fell in step and kept walking together, with Ida now in the middle, with you either side. That day was as normal, and again you spent time with Sarah at lunch, but nothing was brought up again about you using a quirk on him. He wasn't done with talking about it, but he figured you needed a little more time and space before he approached the topic again. So that day after school you went to meet with Aizawa, and Sarah left by himself to go home. It was a weird feeling for him to be walking home on his own, but he took the time to think about you and how far you had come, and also where you were going to go. I'm happy that she likes me back, he thought as he walked, smiling up at the sky. Now I just got to get over a few more hurdles, and then I can call her mine, and it can all be out in the open, and I can hold her hand properly, and we can kiss, he thought, his lips pulling into a wobbly, nervous line as he thought about you kissing him. Man, I'm going to pass away if she kisses me out of nowhere. I need to make sure I'm ready for it, he thought as he adjusted his bag strap over his shoulder and straightened. But I have a little more time to go before the court case. Of course I'm going to be there with her through it all. That's what a true friend does, and also what a boyfriend will do, since I'm technically her boyfriend. Man, I'm just so lucky, he thought, the grin on his face still as he walked. I hope her training goes well. I'll call her about it later. Meanwhile, while Sarah was walking home, you heard jog down to the training arena to where Aizawa was standing in the middle of it and put your bag down at the door and then approached him confidently, your eyes falling on a piece of paper in his hand. What's the piece of paper for, Aizawa? We'll find out tomorrow. I'll see you then for chapter 60.